She pointed at the dry dirt under my boots and shouted, "You can't dig anything without HOA permission." I stared at her, this woman in a spotless white blouse and fake pearls, standing on my land like she owned it. I held a rusted shovel, sweat sliding down my neck, trying to dig a small water well for my family. The summer had been brutal. My kids had been hauling water from town in gallon jugs. But Karen appeared the moment my shovel hit the ground, waving a clipboard like a weapon. "This land falls under the HOA Water Preservation Clause," she barked. "You're in violation." I didn't argue. I just leaned on my shovel and waited, calm and steady, because I knew something she didn't. She pulled out her phone. "I'm reporting this. Unauthorized digging is a federal offense under our guidelines." I finally spoke. "Your guidelines?" "Lady, I built this ranch with my own hands. There was no HOA when I bought this land." She stiffened. "Well, we formed one last year. Retroactive rules. You'll be fined and possibly evicted." That was when my daughter ran out of the house barefoot. "Dad, no water again." Her voice cracked. Karen didn't react. She only smirked. My jaw tightened. "So you're stopping me from getting water for my family on my own ranch?" Karen smiled like she was enjoying herself. "You should have read the fine print." What she didn't know was that the well wasn't just for me. It connected to the underground pipeline that ran straight toward her property. Her entire 1,500-head cattle operation beyond the hill relied on it. If she wanted to play games, she had no idea what she had just started. The next morning, I was up before sunrise. Karen thought she had one, thought her HOA rules could stop a man from watering his land. She was wrong. I walked to the old pump station near the east fence line. Most folks didn't even know what it was. It looked like rusted metal buried in weeds. But decades ago, this ranch fed water to 3 properties, including Karen's massive cattle land. She had no idea her entire water supply still depended on my buried system. I opened the valve cover, turned a few crusty knobs, and heard a click. The water pressure hissed, then faded. Pipes groaned in the distance. I shut the line down completely. Just like that, 500 cattle had no water. Back at the house, my phone buzzed nonstop. First a text. "Urgent. Livestock water pressure at 0. Investigating." Then another. "If this is you, you'll be reported for environmental interference." And then Karen herself tore down my gravel road in her luxury SUV, tires spitting dust. She jumped out before it fully stopped. "What did you do?" "The water's gone. My cattle, my business." I didn't speak. I simply pointed at the no trespassing sign on my gate. She stormed up to me, face burning red. "This is criminal. I'll call the water board, the HOA, the state, whoever I need." I leaned against my fence, cool as could be. "You said I couldn't dig for water, so I followed the rules. No digging, no well, no water flow." Her eyes widened as she finally began to understand. "You're messing with infrastructure. This is bigger than your stubborn pride," she snapped. "I'm just following your guidelines," I replied. "No unauthorized digging, no private well use, no unpermitted water movement." For the first time, Karen went quiet. Then she stormed off, dialing her phone like she was calling every authority she could name. But she still didn't know the truth. This land, this system, the entire pipeline, was protected under a legacy agreement. It was grandfathered in before the HOA ever existed, and I had the documents to prove it. By noon, Karen had gathered every authority she could think of outside my gate. 2 HOA board members in polo shirts stood awkwardly near the fence. A man from the county water department kept asking if I had a moment. And behind them all, a deputy sheriff leaned on his truck, arms crossed, watching everything. I walked out with a folder tucked under my arm. Karen, pacing like her world was collapsing, spotted me and rushed forward. "You're in violation of multiple civil codes," she snapped. "You've disrupted agricultural flow and damaged communal interests. You're under investigation." I handed her the folder. She hesitated, then tore it open. Inside were 3 items. First, a deed proving I owned the pipeline easement. Second, a 1987 document exempting my ranch from municipal water zoning. Third, a notarized letter from the state water board confirming my independent rights. Her face drained. "Where did you even get this?" I shrugged. "My grandfather built the system. He kept real records, not HOA handouts." She looked around desperately, as if someone might defend her. But the county rep quietly took the documents and read them carefully. Karen pointed toward me. "He cut off water to my cattle. That puts animals at risk. You need to intervene." The sheriff looked at me. "Is that true?" I didn't blink. "She shut down my well on my land. She said I couldn't use private water access. So I followed the rules she insisted on. No well means no water." The sheriff allowed himself a small smile. Sounds like you're both enforcing the same policy. Karen exploded. This is outrageous. This is intentional sabotage. I'll sue him. I'll take this entire ranch if I have to. The county rep finally spoke. Actually, it appears the HOA may have overstepped. If these documents are accurate, and they seem to be, your authority does not apply to legacy infrastructure. You aren't just mistaken. You may be in violation. Corin went still. Then her phone buzzed loudly. She grabbed it with shaking hands. Karen, you need to get here.